Hi everyone. This is for my students of architecture. Others can kind of scroll down. Maybe you can hit a like. Yeah. All right. So, you know, I had been practicing as an architect for the past 2 decades across India and abroad. With my hands on experience in designing numerous projects, I've gained some real life insight which I keep sharing, as you know, with my students of architecture. Well, today, let's talk about some very important professional code of conducts for an architect to practice in India under the Council of Architecture Act 1972. The Council of Architecture, COA, as we call it, has been constituted by the Government of India under the provisions of the Architects Act 1972, enacted by the Parliament of India, which came into force on the 1st of September 1972. This act provides for registration of architects, standards of education, recognized qualifications and standards of practice to be complied with by the practicing architects like us. The Council of Architecture is charged with the responsibility to regulate the education and practice of the profession throughout India, besides maintaining the register of architects. For this purpose, the Government of India has framed the rules and the Council of Architecture has framed the regulations as provided for the Architects Act with the approval of the Government of India. An architect is a born professional. I keep saying this. He is a professional by training or by birth, and he will always be. Professionals are required to discharge their obligations and commitments diligently and befitting with quality and standards of services for the society. The laws of the land mandate that the professionals should provide services to the consumers in a required manner, exercising duty of care, and while doing so, they should not commit any negligence act. Yeah? In order to protect the interest of the clients against the breach of duty, the deficient services have been defined by the statute and the legal actions have been initiated on the erring professionals. In many such cases we have seen. The services rendered by architects have also been covered by the relevant laws of the country. I had published a very detailed article on this particular topic. Go back to my page and check it out sometime. A code of conduct is a set of rules that outlines the duties and responsibilities of a particular person, groups, or organizations. All professionals are bound by their codes of conduct of their own. Maybe for doctors is a different code of conduct, for lawyers it's different, for architects it's different, including architecture, which is a process of designing, planning, and construction of buildings and other such structures. In India, just like other countries, architects do have codes of conduct. Indian architects are required to register with the Council of Architecture or COA so that one can be able to carry out the professional practice of architecture in India. Let me tell you, it is illegal to call yourself an architect in order to conduct any architectural activities without getting registered by the Council of Architecture. When you register with the COA, you get a unique registration number, and definitely you will also have to follow the Indian Architects Act 1972. And what does an Indian Architects Act 1972 tell us? Students can take a note of this. Broadly, there are like 6 points. Number 1 is all architects should be bound by this act and are supposed to follow it. Number 2 is the Council of Architecture shall be the body responsible for all architects. Through this body, contracts can be made. One can be sued or be sued. Number 3, the head office shall be in Delhi unless stated otherwise by the central government, which will be put in the Gazette. Number 4 is it specifies the number of members who are to be on the council and the mode of election. Number 5 is it talks about the registration of the architects, that with them they should have their birth certificate, national identification card, relevant school documents, and a degree from a known institution. And number 6 is punishments to those who give false representations are also stated in that particular document. Right? Now see, the Government of India had also established a code of conduct in the Indian Constitution. It is under the Professional Code of Conduct 1989. Very, very important. It states that every architect who is either employed or practicing is subject to the provisions of the Central Civil Services. An architect should make sure that his professional activities do not conflict with the responsibilities and what he is entitled to do, his responsibility to the society and environment. There are like 11 points. Number 1 is every architect who's either employed or practicing is subject to the provisions of the Central Civil Services. Number 2 is an architect should make sure that his professional activities do not conflict with his responsibilities and what he is entitled to do, his responsibility to the society and environment. Number 3 is he or she should apply and use his skills, responsibility for the economic development of India. Number 4 is the architect shall provide professional services of high quality to the best of his ability. Number 5 is should always inform the client on the conditions of engagement and the terms of agreement, especially if one is a private practice. These are to be the forms on the basis of an appointment. Number 6 is one should not sub-commission his or her work to another or other architects without an agreement of the client. Number 7 is he should not give or take discounts, gifts, commissions, or any form of inducement for introduction of a client or work. Number 8 is he should act with impartiality and fairness when administering a particular job or a contract. Number 9 is the architect should maintain a very high standard of integrity. Number 10 talks about he should promote the advancement of architecture, research, architectural education, and also training. And number 11 is he should respect and recognize professional responsibilities of consultants. However, these are just a few codes of conduct stated in the Indian Constitution. Architects are to live and die by these regulations so as to have the best quality of output in the services they deliver in the best interest of the client. There are also consequences to breach these codes. One is a liable by the law, and any matter regarding professional negligence and or deficient services provided by the architect shall be referred to the Council of Architects to adjudicate whether the architect is guilty of professional misconduct and will attract disciplinary action as stipulated under the Architects Act 1972. So, future architects, this is somewhat overall a picture of the professional ethics and code of conduct for practicing as an architect in India. But let me tell you this, as a creative human being, every architect has to understand this, that you are responsible for creating better tomorrow for our next generation to come, and not only just for you. Use creatively your knowledge that is there and wisely the betterment of humankind and the society. Yeah, that's what you need to just do it. Right? Having said all of that, I strongly believe that there's a lot more to learn. And an architect will always be a student, constantly learning. Let's start discussing your thoughts. Tell me your views. Write in the comments below. I'll get back to you. See you.